Calligraphy is an art form specifically rooted in the Chinese language and has since become a routine tool of written communication. Calligraphy also allows artists to develop their own unique artistic style. In addition to Surongpo's calligraphy, the National Palace Museum collection includes a calligraphic booklet by Wang Shizhi entitled Clearing After Snowfall and elegantly written in the running script form. Huai Su's autobiography of the Tang Dynasty, written in the uninhibited and free-flowing cursive script. And Yan Zhengqing's draft of a Requiem to My Nephew, which expresses his true emotion through running script form. These works have become classics in the Chinese art of calligraphy. Song people attached great importance to taste, and this characteristic is reflected in their art. The graceful Song aesthetic is seen in every facet, from tea sets to daily pottery. In the production process of ceramics, artisans not only paid great attention to the smooth shape of the objects, but also to their enamel texture. The sky blue and colorful enamel are well renowned for blending the colors of sunset. The Song ceramic objects that survive today are artistic creations of the highest caliber. Thanks to international cultural exchanges, admirers from all over the world can enjoy the magnificence of Song art. China was radically transformed after invasion by the northern nomadic Mongol tribe, whose descendants went on to found the Yuan dynasty, the rule of which extended to the vast reaches of Eurasia, resulting in frequent cultural interactions between East and West. During this period came the Italian Marco Polo, the most celebrated traveler of his day. From the Yuan Dynasty collection of the National Palace Museum, one can best appreciate the interactions between cultures and the influence cultures have on one another. The Yuan Dynasty marks the dawn of China's interactions with Europe. 300 years later, during the Qing Dynasty, another grassland tribe, the Manchu, officially allowed Western culture to penetrate the inner corridor of Chinese culture. Missionaries entered China and brought a colorful European artistic style to the imperial collection. The reign of the Qing Dynasty Emperor Qianlong represented China at its peak in the 18th century. Qianlong made a great effort to build a strong state to bring prosperity and wealth to the nation. In his leisure time, the emperor became an avid art collector. Qianlong spent more time amassing works of art than any other Chinese emperor. Collecting art allowed him a diversion from the duties of statecraft. Furthermore, Qianlong was also an adept artist, composing an enormous number of calligraphy scrolls, poems, and paintings. Qianlong's taste and connoisseurship are evident throughout his collection. The revolution of 1911 overthrew the Qing dynasty and forever abolished dynastic monarchy in China. Many cultural relics passed from the Imperial Palace collection to public ownership. The deep recesses of the Imperial Palace have today become a modern exhibit hall. The once formidable sons of heaven now stare at us from the museum walls. The National Palace Museum has established its roots in Taiwan. For 50 years, the 650,000 objects in its collection have been placed under the strict and minute care of the museum's workers and researchers. The museum has worked hard to gradually move these precious objects out of the sanctuary of the palace and give the people a chance to appreciate the wonders of cultural interaction and abundance and vital force of human creations. In order to allow the majesty and beauty of artistic objects to reach a wider audience, the National Palace Museum has actively worked to create different types of exhibitions. The museum has brought different exhibits to Taiwan from around the world. In 1996, the National Palace Museum initiated loan exhibitions of its collection abroad. In 1998, the National Gallery of the Grand Palace in Paris exhibited Memories of Empire from the National Palace Museum collection. Mutual cooperation with French museums culminated in the 300 Years of French Painting special exhibit displayed at the National Palace Museum from 2001 to 2002. Starting in 2001, the National Palace Museum has targeted special historic themes and topics for exhibitions, with the goal of offering the best works of art to the viewing public. These special exhibitions represented a breakthrough in museum exhibition design, insofar as they allowed relics to testify to the diversity of cultures. In 2003, the National Palace Museum mounted the exhibition entitled Isla Formosa, Emergence of Taiwan on the World Scene in the 17th Century, showcasing the Dutch colonial relics on loan from several museums abroad. The exhibit showcased concrete evidence of Taiwan's interactions with world culture. Surviving through wars, upheavals, and the devastating earthquake that struck Taiwan in 1999, the National Palace Museum strives hard for change and innovation. In addition to broadening our worldview, the museum offers various community outreach programs and public services, with the goal of offering the museum's abundant resources to society and enriching cultural appreciation for the people of Taiwan. Out of humanitarian concern, beautiful objects from the National Palace Museum collection have brought comfort to disaster-afflicted areas and been used to lessen the cultural discrepancy between urban and rural communities.